How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nightcap for July 6, 2021. Oh, yeah. Close Busters. Who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like a good mashup? Should probably a lot of people. You know, honestly, probably a lot of people that don't enjoy a good mashup as much as I do. As much as cool guy Shaun does. I love them. Well, not all of them, obviously. Some of them are pretty bad. Some of them just don't work. Just plain old-fashioned don't work. Try to get our sound levels right tonight. But yeah, so we're just gonna be fucking around tonight. I got some stuff planned. I had a whole suite of things I was gonna do last night. So you're getting an extra bonus episode because I didn't do any of that stuff. I went down the white rapper rabbit hole. Found myself with the Juggalos, as you know, as you are wont to do when you are discussing white rappers. Sometimes there's nowhere else to go but to the Juggalo zone. So we're going to start off light, as we are wont to do around here, and then maybe we'll get into some more serious business. But I discovered something today. This is something I did not know that it existed. Ass slapping competitions in Romania. You've heard of slapping competitions. We've seen them, right? Guys stand across from each other on a table and they slap each other. It gets really intense. They wear powders and stuff. Slap. Slap. Fucking intense stuff. Maybe we'll check out some of those after this. I think there's probably some compilation videos of knockouts and stuff. Because that's what I like. That's what I like to see. If you're going to watch a novelty sport, and I want to watch the point of it. Will somebody get knocked the fuck out? So, yeah. So, this is cell phone footage of the ass slapping competition. Oh, she already has it. Hold on, let's go back. She already has quite a red bottom. This girl has been spanked. She's been slapped a lot. How many people are in here? This seems like a very big, large venue. A lot of pomp and circumstances. Maybe this is what they do in between the slap fights in Romania. This is just for fun. This is for the guys, you know, get them juiced up. Get them ready to see men slap each other. I mean, what do you do? I guess you just go until you can't anymore. Look at this keister right here. Pretty. I mean, we see a little bit of redness here, but nothing that looks crazy. Nothing that looks insurmountable. This other person, they're going to be in some pain. Like, where's the crowd? Where's the crowd? There's like 10 people in an auditorium. I'm sure these girls are feeling like this is totally worth it. They must just be like Romanian models and they pay them. Look at these guys. SWAT. Do they have SWAT in Romania? I'm glad he has his mask on, though. Being real professional. Being safe. She's fine. She's fine. This is not a bother. She's like, nah. My husband spanks me harder for fun. How do these guys stand here and not get boners? How embarrassing would that be? Like, dude, you're supposed to be elite. You're supposed to be part of SWAT. What's going on? I mean, these asses are barely moving. These booties are barely even being shook. What is going on? Let's put some muscle into it, girls. This one, she looks like she could be a killer if she wanted to. This one, a little more feminine, a little more fey in a sense, right? Even just her demeanor. It's more genteel. She seems like she would be there for business. Like maybe she's like a hit woman in Romania. Maybe that's why there's not a lot of people in the crowd. This is a private tryout. So you want to be a star. This chick right here, I mean, both of them impressive milkers, if I may say. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but I appreciate the female form. Impressive milkers. Something about resistance. Come on, yeah, let's get it. Oh, see, that was okay. Okay, see, now we're starting to get into it a little bit. A little more frustration, a little bit more, throwing your weight into it, a little more of a pivot. She kind of shook a little bit. Granted, she's wearing heels. Not the most stable footwear you could be wearing during an ass slapping competition. These must be amateurs. This is like death by 1,000 cuts. Like, yeah, if you keep slapping somebody's ass moderately hard for fucking an hour or 10 minutes, like Gluteus Maximus is going to get a little tender. But it's not like, I want to see the thrill. They should do this with guys. Where's the Romanian dudes slapping each other in the ass? That's what I want to see. Get them out there in their thongs and just let those guys go to Pound Town.
Dacă nu renunță niciuna, Florin, atent, dacă nu renunță până și 4 de da? Deci vii și spui că jurul a decis. Jurul a decis.
Did she call her a pussy? She said, turn around, pussy. Turn around, pussy. I got something for you. Slap! This reminds me of those videos, those porn videos, where they're the lesbian wrestlers, and the winner gets to fuck the other one. That's what it reminds me of. Like the setup here, I feel like that could happen at any moment. Something like that could happen at any moment. This is very exciting for me. Trying to, keep my stuff together, keep myself together. All right. I wonder who this announcer's, this ref. This like an old champ, an old pro. She says, ladies, you hit like pussy. You hit like pussy. You bring shame to Romania. Can't their boyfriends and their brothers make a little bit more noise? For the kids. Hype it up a little bit. Come on now.
sau lila.
Păi și serios, nu avem să mai vorbim acum. Nu, la o bătaie. Am bate pe amândoi odată? Mai târziu.
Nu mai are putere. Nu.
Pathetic.
Nu, a fost deșoată. Sau este teamă de ce urmează. Ia să vedem. Îți este teamă de treabă? Chiar deloc. Te-a subestimat.
Like is this? Are they making a fetish video? Some sort of fetish situation here? Men pay tens of dollars for these DVDs. We gotta make them. Oh, we heard a little excitement. Oh, he said.
Devine din ce în ce mai interesant. Ce s-a întâmplat? Ai vrut să dai putere, dar era pe lângă. A fost deșoară, nu are nimic. Ia să vedem dacă de pe lângă sau... V-ați menajat dura asta. V-ați menajat. Nu-i nimic, continuăm.
Oh, here we go. Oh, the slap. The slap.
Dar oare cine va fi?
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
It's not, they're gonna talk strategy. She's like, now, did you like the tickle? You know, you start the nerves. You start them feeling something before you bring down the slap.
Te-a durut? Ești bine? Continuăm? Continuăm, este foarte bine.
Scuză-mă.
A lovit puternic.
Is she giving up? Is my long-haired raven, my Valkyrie, has she given up? It was not a very aggressive butt slap. This kind of just goes on, huh? Are there other butt slappers?
Ai avut și mai bune, se pare
Există
că
și
nu
o ore,
mai e.
există și 11 ore. Cum e Budabar, 11 ore.
This is their culture, guys. What? Is that like a mutual thing? They're like, okay, you know, just we're both hurting. These rumps have been roasted. Let's chill for a round or two. So we can get our, get a sense of self back.
Ia să vedem acum. Se pregătește ca să câștige această competiție. Dar cu palma asta nu cred. Nu cred.
It's like Rocky and Drago fighting. He is like steel.
Vedem replica. Foarte bine.
You know, I'm seeing some. Hold on. I saw some. Looked like there was a little bit of some major blistering here. Look at this. Wish I could zoom in for you a little bit, but yeah, there's like some skin flaking off here. Maybe that's makeup though. Maybe it's like makeup peeling. But yeah, this one too. Like I said, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. They look like little love taps, but there must be a little something more to it. I mean, this is actually physically damaging them. Just smile through, girl. Natasha, just smile through it. Your parents are watching? Okay, she didn't like that one. But she's maintaining composure. Now, maybe she was in an earlier competition because both of her rumps are roasted. This one, only one rump is roasted. She must be the returning champ, like defending her crown. Her ass-slapping crown. Her belt. Her plug.
Nu e organizator. E băiatul ăla.
Da, tu știi, nu știu ce pot spune. Mai mult de atât, nu Ai văzut că dă dur, dar a lovit și ca și în adică nu are nicio treabă. Da? Replica a fost...
Mihaela nu știe să plicească.
A fost dură. Continuăm.
So that's 21 slaps. Ooh. See, it's the long game. This started kind of boring, but now as we see the physical damage they're undergoing, they're taking on, becomes much more interesting. Now it's all about the little nuances of their behavior, their stances.
Poate, am aici o luptă tare adevărată. De fapt, ambele fete sunt destul de motivate. Dar numai una va câștiga.
You can't really hear it, but faintly in the background, there's like some industrial, Romanian industrial goth rock playing. Sounds like kind of sounds like Rob Zombie, Rammstein, that kind of vibe. I have my headphones in so I can kind of hear it, but it's there, very aggressive.
Le dă mai bine de
These girls are having the time of their life.
acum a dat și
This cell phone camera, guys, see, that's the only way you can watch the ass slap competitions. It's these guys that make these bootleg cell phone videos from deep in the underground. No official videos of this.
Am auzit. De la prima?
Are ce are cu partea aceea, dar stă bine, nu este problemă.
She says, "Oh."
Da, se încinde atmosfera.
Now you can tell that they're actually getting irritated because the responses are much faster, right? They're like, "Ooh, you fucking hurt me, you slapped me, now I gotta hit you back right now."
Dar lovește, să știi că lovește dragul. Lovește. Te rog.
He says, "Don't do this to my daughter. She's young, she doesn't understand." He's making a plea to this Romanian mafia that's trying to recruit her. This is his daughter. She thinks it's funny because she's already in.
Fetelor, pregătiți-vă. Dați tot ce puteți.
Will you kiss her rump back? Maybe.
De ce mă să face nebunul?
Ideal ar fi să o tragă
N-am zis și eu, mă. Ea a zis. Na, și-a făcut și ea. N-a nimeni.
Da. Nu poți să mai ai încercare pentru că nu este corect.
My daughter is a gentle girl. She does not understand your ways. You have brought much pain to her life, to her rumps. Roast beef, you see roast beef. We cannot do this in our country. Please, Romanian mafia, spare her. She is weak.
Cristina Stan!
That's it? Oh, they called it? Oh, look. There's trophies. There's crowns. This guy doesn't seem like some awkward fuckboy. This guy is trying to fuck these chicks. He's like, listen, I know your rumps have been roasted. It's roast beef, you know what I mean? But, you come to my hotel. We audition further.
Ce sală te antrenezi?
It was some fun. All right. That's enough of that. I think we got it. Okay? But the night, my friends, is for the boys. The night is for the boys. Let's just see what we can find here. Women's booty slapping contest. Oh, there's another one. It's pretty short. Women's slapping championship ends in something. All right, we'll do one more booty video. I mean, more underground cell phone footage. There's no officially filmed versions of any of these anywhere. You're getting a sneak peek into a secret world. Oh, they got fucking pants on. What the hell's that all about?
Классно? Нравится или нет? Самый главный вопрос. Не нравится.
Pretty girls, you know? Pretty girls.
Смотрите, теперь по полной программе с места не сходить. Твоя задача, да, и твоя тоже. Поехали. Чувствуется просто.
You know, it's like with the pants, you know, listen, this is not me being a perv or anything, but like what I'm saying, like from the last time, right? The drama kind of developed by being able to see what was physically happening. Because they're not hitting each other that hard, it doesn't seem like, etc., etc. But at least there was something to invest in. Now, this is just silly games. I mean, where's this at? A fucking shopping mall? It looks like he's in a... They look like they're in the parking garage of a shopping mall. Is this a joke to you? Is this a joke to you? Get out of here. Get out of here. This is why this will never be an Olympic sport, because you people don't take this seriously enough. The night is for the boys. This is ridiculous. Fuck this. She says, ay, ay, ay. No, I will hit you with all of my strength. And I will come at you with my full force.
Ну что же, эти орехи сегодня не расколоть. У меня есть решение. Мы сейчас просто проверяем, у кого красней, тот и проиграл. Я шучу, конечно, нет, конечно. Давайте по финальному удару, если нет, обе проходите в финал. А можете разок наём? Можете разок наём? Вы скажете, понятно, сколько это будет. Можете разок наём? Прям хорошенько, да. Ух ты! Серьезно? Это серьезно больно? Вы в финале. 360 градусов разворот, нет, вы первый будете.
Now, who do we think here? Now, you would say aesthetically, you know, just from being, I don't know, biased or something, you would see this green-haired girl, you're like, she's gonna deliver the hammer, the pain. But this one also, this getup, this is like a Bond villainess, you know? Something slaps a lot. I was trying to think of a name. Just not that clever. Too high for that.
Ребята, дайте поддержку, но все-таки это как бы первый раз все делают. Первый раз это видим. Давай, стараться. И...
She says, I thought you were going to slap me.
Меняйся местами.
This is like watching booty shaking videos on Instagram, except lamer. Maybe more pathetic. Like, what is this for? You know, I understand the novelty. Maybe it's like a pre-show thing. It's while people are mulling into the theater to see dudes slap each other. I need more background. I need more context. Ha-cha-cha. That chick still has her rings on. Trying to do kill somebody out there. Oh, shit. Oh, my butt.
На это можно смотреть вечно. Ну-ка, размах туда и...
What are these? Look at this dude's face. He's like, "Ew." What are they doing here? What is going on? I'm losing myself.
Нейтральное лицо, все. Давай так, включаем лицо, полная нейтраль, улыбка. Улыбка, меняйте какую хотите. Главное не останавливайтесь. Так, вот вы все время любите поменять места.
Did she just say for the honor of her family? She's really putting it out there now. Really going full on.
Хотя, возможно, где-то в Новой Зеландии это официальный вид спорта. О, сошла с места, все, победа. Настя проходит.
A massive round of applause.
Мы это сделаем максимально привлекательно для аудитории, поэтому 2 шага вперед и по 360. Кто бьет первый? Давай, подожди. Хорошо, поехали. Так, 2, номер 1. Ready, go!
That seemed like a pretty good one. But she's got nice, like a stable situation. Like we watched the last video, those girls running around in high heels. Very easy to get knocked off balance. So it can make the hits seem more intense than they are. These girls were in Skechers or something like that. Stable footing. So you saw this woman is like a rock, except for her juicy booty that went blah, 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 blah.
Удар номер 2. Есть. Осталось по 4 удара. Нет, еще так, все. И все.
These pants gotta be hot as fuck. Not like hot in the colloquial sense, like, oh, look at those hot pants. No, like literally, it looks like she's wearing garbage bags wrapped to her body like that. I mean, that's a cooked cooter. Ugh.
Чуть-чуть, да.
This is ridiculous. This is so fucking stupid.
Давайте, девушки ждут у нас на каблуках. На каблуках отлично, еще 2, 3. Сначала смело, и потом красиво. Да понятное дело, подожди, лицо как изменилось, или ты прикалываешься? Слушай, это на самом деле больно, я вот попробовал буквально, подожди, это реально больно. Снимаешь? Это как? Это, знаете... ногами бить. Последний по последнему удару, да, это четвертый, но нам хватит. Поехали. Да. Давай, последний как?
So this is their equivalent of an official video. It's a dude in the front row filming on his cell phone, but they've gone back and they've done post-production on it. A true fan, maybe. He's like, I go to all of the competitions. I love some ass slapping. Thank God. What a disappointment. You say something like women's booty slapping contest, and you think you're in for fire. We were lied to. We were fucking lied to. So let's see here. Women's slapping competition. We gotta skip ahead. Didn't know I was gonna have to do that. They're making me do work over here. Programming. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. This, I don't think this is a booty one. I think this is regular slapping. And the production value is good. It's high quality. It's lame, dude. It's got to be till you're fucking out. Like, for these to have any sense of fun or be interesting to any degree, I mean, what's the scoring system for slaps? I guess it's like contact, like being able to move somebody, maybe. But come on. Come on. All right. Well, the night is for the boys. You know what I mean? The night is for the boys. I want to see like a compilation. Okay. Here we go. So now that, like I said, the night is for the boys. Let's see how dudes do it. Let's see how dudes get it done. Is this gonna be with music the whole time? That dude punched him. Oh no, he didn't. Alright, we're just gonna shut off the music because. Wait, is it? Hold on. Yeah. No. This ain't the one. This ain't the one. Nope. I don't want to see the end result. I gotta see a little bit of the. I need to see a little foreplay. Compilation from Russia. Let's just see slapping competition. Let's see what we can find. The punch down. Yeah, I don't like how the punch down does their business. Whoa. Okay, Russian slaps 2021 scary knockouts. The first female slap fight. Scariest slapping. Let's see here, Russian slaps. Let's try that one. Let's try this one out. Dude's fucked up. Jesus Christ. There used to be games like this in like Alaska, like out in the boonies. They'd be kind of like native people, like they would have these muck-tuck games, they would call them. One of them is like who can pull each other's ear the longest before somebody gives up, slap fights, things like that. Interesting. It's interesting. It doesn't surprise me. I guess this stuff comes from like Romania, from Russia. Oh, he's ready. This boy is ready. He was born ready. That's like just like punching somebody in the face. Oh, ho, ho. I am ready. He is like iron. He wants to go again. Oh, he knows. He knows it. You see that smirk? He knows. He knows what's fucking coming. Good constitution. Ooh, he shook. He's shook, boys. This man is shook. Shook as fuck. Like, good on these people for like, making this a thing, because this is the kind of bullshit you would do like at drunken parties around a bonfire when you were 16. They found a way to monetize it. Some entrepreneurs out there. See, I think they should have to go until somebody quits. I don't like this round business. I don't like this. This is like the corporatization of it. Like, I need to see the street slap fights. The way they did it around the bonfire in the prison yard. That looks like my cousin Zachary, if he was like in really good shape and Russian. Yeah, show me some scrawny dudes in there because they can go kind of a few rounds. You bring out a fucking bruiser. You have some dude slap you across the face. Shit, dude, you're going to be fucking done. You're going to be rattled. You're going to be fucking, your brain's going to be like, not a good scene. Those things are over fast. Even when, it seems like even when they would get two bigger dudes, seemed like a little bit shorter of affairs. But I like that, though. I do like when somebody quits. I don't want it to go to the decision. I don't want it. And these scrawny guys, they often seem like the go-to decision. I don't support it. I don't believe in it. The king has fallen. Let's hear it for the boys. Oh yeah. Baby slapping. Dude got fucked up. Like, that guy got kind of fucked up. That dude's face is fucked up. That was one slap. One slap from the scrawny, homely looking dude. This guy thought he was fly. That must be his husband, looking on with concern. My beautiful boy, my beautiful man, what have they done to you? Rub his chest. Bring him back. Bring him back. Alright, here's some beefcake. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. That motherfucker wanted to slap me. I'd probably leave the country. Oh! See, I like that. Sportsmanlike. Sportsmanship. It's important, even in slap fighting. This motherfucker looks scared. Dude looks like he wants to cry. I don't blame him. This dude is a fucking monster. Ooh. This other guy, though, not this dude. The guy in the Adidas tracksuit, like, he can pack a punch, like, and that's the truth in real life. You know, you see people, you're like, you would think the monster. You'd be like, oh, that guy's gonna fuck people up. I would feel that way. And this other dude, this dude in the Adidas tracksuit, that's the guy that I would be more likely to want to face. Looks can be deceiving, everybody. Do not judge a book by its tracksuit. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Tracksuit boy. The tracksuit guy wins, hands down. Ooh, arm wrestling. Let's do it.
Andrei Smaev from Russia. His incredible extra weight pull-ups, his bench press, his really extraordinary workout. He's
so
already
strong.
impressed the world. But what about arm wrestling? I have already shown you how Andrei trained in strict bicep curl in Denis Tseplenkov's gym. Now it's time for arm wrestling sparring. Experienced athletes, world champions, and beginner Andrei Smaev. With such a huge biceps and without any experience in...
What's the name of that goddamn Stallone movie about arm wrestling? Is it On Top? Something like that.
Special arm wrestling exercises, Andrei had a chance to prove himself. But it's important to know he never, I repeat, never did arm wrestling before and did not participate in such sparrings. So it's quite interesting how he will show.
I like this guy's a fucking monster, dude. Look at this fucking dude. Imagine coming across this dude in the woods. Ooh, what would you do for your freedom?
Himself in the gym of one of the strongest arm wrestlers in the world, Denis Tseplenkov. So guys, please like this video and leave a comment below, it will really help my channel to grow. If you have not seen the past videos about Andrei Smaev on my channel, I will leave links to them under the video. I advise you to watch them. This will really help you to understand better where Andrei lives, how he trains, that he is not a professional athlete and only trains after working at a military Russian factory in a small town. He especially came to Moscow for a few days to meet Kirill Zarachev, Ivan Matyushenko and of course Denis Tseplenkov. A day earlier, Andrei had a hard...
So you got a guy looking for his way out. I'm already on this guy's side. He's looking for his way out, you know? So he lifted. Holy shit.
Training session with Kirill Zarachev. A day later, first doing strict bicep curl to the max and only after arm wrestling. Andrei was tired, but he understood that this was his chance to show himself.
So they have this dude do his full sets of working out and they're like, now come try arm wrestling. Now come give it a shot.
You need to fight.
Поближе. Не, понятно, я просто проверил, то есть, ну, видео, да, вещь расползается. Должен максимально работать.
Should be as close as the table as possible. Use it in order to keep you, I rest against the table.
Если буду бороть, я буду к столу прижат. Но это сейчас у тебя может сразу не получаться, не пытайся перестроиться. Просто делай, что можешь.
This is secret information.
Смотри, опусти. Борешь, потом пытайся вверх вылезти. Если борешь, боди прямо сюда, стол. Понял? Одно движение и не пытайся, а то ты, получается, если остановился, и пытайся потом рукой додавить, вылезти. Травма опасна. Если борешь, то уже...
I gotta respect that they're actually showing him. A lot of people, when you do anything, like you know, in my experience, like playing poker, right? People get really fucking anal retentive. Be like, hey, you know, if you're talking to your friends or you're new to poker, they're like, no, you just got to go in there and get fucked. We're not going to talk about strategy. We're not going to talk about anything. It doesn't matter if there's $10 on the table, $100 on the table. It's a very dog-eat-dog enterprise. I like that this guy is like the best in the world. He's showing this dude who's trying to get out of his circumstances. He's like, no, man, like these are the strategies. These are the hot strats. Don't hurt yourself. This is the way to procure a win.
Вместе с плечом. Ну, дури много, боковое движение, те, которые ты не делаешь, они как бы их надо.
He's not there. He's not ready for the big time. He says, oh, you're very strong, but your technique is lacking.
Ready, go.
This game of cat and mouse trying to wear each other out. Look at these boys, these beefcakes.
О, это
That's why it's called an explosive start. David starts moving very powerfully, a real explosion. You can fight it if only you manage to stop its explosion at the very beginning.
Andrei's
Don't
nose is
blow
bleeding from
your
tension
load.
and fatigue. After a while, he returned and was ready to continue.
только не стартуй.
Давай на левый раз.
Не, левый не угодил. Нормально, нормально. Я как раз тебе... Не, ты сейчас
Oh, thank you, FA, for the follow. I appreciate it.
попытается тебе это...
Я понял.
Теперь он загружен, попробуй стартани. Сейчас встаньте прям вот.
His explosive start. He's going to try his explosive start now.
Пытайся побороться.
Let's see how Andre can resist your pressure and whether he can.
Да. Ну, не, в принципе, вот, если ты сможешь сорваться, пожалуйста. То есть ты все равно как бы попытайся делать то, что ты можешь. Попытайся успеть. Я стартану. Ready, go, будет пауза медленная. Стоп. Ready, go! Вот, видишь, это старт. То есть, если ты сейчас... Теперь попытайся дать ему включиться первым. А ты попытайся...
David, now let us try to fight it, and then I will tell you what to do. So this guy's being trained in the art of the arm wrestle.
Просто покажем, что такое старт-импульс. Насколько это тяжело сделать, да? Не всем дано. Go. Не-не-не, дай ему паузу, я что сказал. Давай я тебе скажу, когда атаковать. Я тебе скажу второй раз. Go. Go. Понял, что такое взорваться?
Andrei Smaev is a beginner in arm wrestling. He doesn't know techniques, tricks and different ways to defeat an opponent. He has only physical strength and a desire to show himself, and he didn't give up until the very end.
Хорошо. Смотри. Не напрягай, да. Почему защита хорошая? Потому что бицепс сильный. Но это проблема многих спортсменов. За статикой они здесь включились, и кто кого перестоит. Но если турнир, если заруба, больше он не...
Alright, well this is interesting to a certain degree. But let's see if we can find some actual arm wrestling competitions. Why not? I don't want to watch the full event. Arm wrestling super match. Schoolboy versus Monster Michael Todd. Let's check that out. Why not?
Oh shit, that's strong. Give us a ready go, Devin. I'm gonna see if I can do it. I know, give us a ready go. I'm see if I can do something. Okay. What do you guys want? What do you want?
This is buddy.
Very wild or wild? Step in. Doesn't matter. Okay, you guys are good right there if you're both happy. Are you guys both happy?
Acho muito triste.
Yeah. Go!
Oh shit.
Yeah, fuck, I can't do any of that.
You see what he did with hot chili?
Yeah, his left's strong. I'm gonna try one more thing.
His right is strong too.
His right is strong too.
No way. Come on. They gotta be trying to make this this dude feel good. Come on.
He blocked that press big time.
Yeah. You want another one of those?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, same thing, right?
Верхом
You
пойдет.
guys both happy? Go!
Strap.
Just tie up.
Once.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
He's got one. He always pulls one out of his pants.
He has one
How
everywhere.
the hell does he do that?
He's ready.
Devin, where's that strap been? Where's that strap?
Been in my old lady's
Oh, Bill
ass,
comes in,
he
he's gotta make
says.
sure that this is being done right.
Must apply the strap correctly.
I wonder where this is happening.
Bill, did he hustle strap?
No, I'm on a totally different level. I got a half twist in there.
A half twist?
That not even the federations know about.
Oh, damn.
Давай, Саня.
You guys good?
Snug it down. I need all the help I can get.
Саш, кисть наверх.
Yeah, he's strong.
Yeah, he's really strong.
Oh, that
You know, if I were to ever engage in a sport, this would probably be it. This would be the one. This would be the one. Kind of fun, sense of camaraderie, sportsmanlike conduct, respect. It's important.
It's just not real fun. Yeah, he's real strong. That's horrible.
You say that's horrible?
That's horrible, so bad. Oh, you bleeding?
You guys ready? Go!
Go ahead.
Поиграй, Сань.
Yep. I can't shit with a slap. I will try one more. Sit down one more time.
Hey, you want some chalk for that? Okay, everything's good. You guys ready? Go!
You just got that corn-fed country boy shit. If this is not like an ego boost, he seems like he's like, yo, bro.
Russian.
Explains why my left side's up. Good job.
Hey, wait. Don't go anywhere.
Well, I'm not doing anything right. Schoolboy. Strong. Thank you. I would too. But I knew I'm not calling. Back and forth talking about it. I knew he would be the best. I knew he was going to be the best he's ever been. So I knew he had to be. I knew he had to be the best he's ever been. So he showed up amazing. I mean, there's nothing I can say. I got no complaints. He did cheat just a little bit, but other than that,
Is he weak?
super weak.
Super weak.
I wonder if it's like a technique thing. Or maybe it's just fucking strong. Shit.
Like you said, I mean, he said it changed his life. So that we still gets something that he did. That would even be a bigger match now.
kid's having the fucking time of his life. I'm actually really stoked for this kid. The time of his fucking life. Look at these dudes. And he's standing to them. Good for that kid. That kid, now see, he's found somebody where he's gonna dig a little deeper, you know? Look at these dudes. There's always a point, though, because you got to give in at some point unless you want to get your fucking forearm broken.
So hey, no filming. You can film your other stuff, yeah. Film those girls over there that can break their arms. Film that shit. You should have gone lefty! Damn it! Nice. Come on, Larry. Yes. Ready to go?
That guy's like, who the fuck was that guy? Is everybody just fucking digging around? Alright, well, that's very interesting. Very interesting. You know, this is something like if I was not streaming, I would probably watch that for like 5 hours. That's what I'd be doing for the rest of the night. I'd be watching that stuff. But we're on NIGHTCAP, guys. So where do we go from there? I had some stuff planned the other night that I didn't get to, so we're going to get to a few of those videos. We're going to be talking about addiction in all of its various forms, mostly of the sexual nature. You know what I'm saying?
When I was taking cocaine and crack, it was every single day. But when it was porn and the porn addiction, it was binging.
So, porn trumps cocaine and crack. That's pretty intense.
What I wish I'd known about porn. So my relationship with porn started at a very, very young age. In fact, I was about 4 years old when the older kids on the estate invited me into their home. My mum thought I was safe because they were the bigger kids and everyone knew them. And they were all watching porn. They were watching bestiality porn. I have vague memories, the scars of that.
Hold on. Kids just hanging out watching bestiality porn? I mean, fuck. Maybe me, just the normie American. Yeah, we definitely watch porn with our peers. Definitely share the porn you could find. It was also from a different era. Like, you know, porn was just not freely available. Just wasn't everywhere. So you'd have to get together with your buddies and go to Coconuts and buy a DVD only to find out that it's like basically Skinemax. Be very upset.
Being sort of really scared at what I was seeing and embarrassed by what I was seeing. I remember feeling...
Well, if you're watching bestiality, yeah.
The memory that I've got of porn becoming a thing or And a compulsion in my life was I must have been at least 11, maybe younger, and I would be able to just run in, lock myself in my bedroom and pore over this magazine that I'd found. I never associated porn with addiction. Especially back then, 20 years ago, those two words didn't go together. Porn was just porn. You watch porn, everybody does it. My view on women was really marred. I looked at women as a way of gratifying myself. That's the truth of it. You look at a woman.
He woke up, guys. He woke up. Now, this is something I'm sure that there are definitely a lot of people out there that share that sentiment. And, and I would never say that, like, I'm a person that's ever had a problem with porn. Like, it's never really overtaken my life. Like most things, I don't have like an addictive personality. So I'm not, a lot of times I go through phases. Like I'll be like really into something for kind of a brief period of time, or I'll be like, I'll drink a lot for like a month and then not really drink at all for the next 4 months. Or, I guess even porn. Like sometimes like I'll just be like, oh shit, like it's been like 3 weeks. 3 weeks since I've watched porn and cranked one out. I guess I don't have that in me, but I do see that people do. It is something that afflicts people because it's just kind of a basic biological thing. Release of endorphins, dopamine.
Through the eyes of porn. But I think we all know that it's not okay. That's why it goes on in secret. And it was only very recently that I actually acknowledged that there might be an addiction. It was about 4 years ago, when I actually said maybe this is actually an addiction that needs to be tackled the same way that the other drugs in my life were. My wife would be asleep upstairs, children would be in bed, and then I would either go to bed at the same time and then sort of get up and come down the stairs once I knew she was asleep, or I would spend an hour just listening at the door to make sure she was asleep because I knew it was wrong.
I like do the same thing, but except with just like movies. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come in. Yeah, I'll lay down. We can snuggle, but I'm going to get up. Go watch a movie.
We had moved into this town to start a church. We had a lot of people that were looking at me as a spiritual leader and as a mentor and a role model, and I let them down. Everything came to a big head because I ended up speaking inappropriately sexually because porn would fuel it. My history was looked at, my computer history.
Okay, so he spoke inappropriately about sexual matters, and now he's just like, it was the porn. Now, like, once you get to a certain point, like, yeah, sure, if you're a kid, but like you live in the world we live in, you understand the context of the society we live in. Saying inappropriate things, or to women, sexually harassing them, whatever. If you're a grown man, he just went through this whole thing. It's like, it was secret, it was dirty. Really, I didn't really feel like I should be doing it. But I would whisper sweet nothings into the ears of anyone that would listen. I don't know if I completely buy that. Because there is something like sex addiction and stuff like that. Like, I think it's a real thing. I think people definitely do suffer from that. For sure. Just kind of basic biological reasons. Like I said, like endorphins, dopamine, like those things get released. Serotonin. Like, there is something to that. Like, and I understand that. But, like, when you're starting to use it as a rationalization of why, like, you said something to somebody that you knew you shouldn't have said, I'm assuming in the context of a church group, well, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being unfair. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'm being a little unfair. Like, because if you really felt like this addiction, this need to get off, and you're looking for avenues where that can happen, and there is a sense of escalation, like there is with every type of addiction, you're going to start looking outside of what is available to you. I guess, right?
History and all that, it just shows up the kind of sites you've looked at. So then I'm sitting in an office talking to the pastors. When I shared that it was an ongoing issue and I couldn't beat it, I wasn't really met with grace, compassion, love, what I believe is the answer to it. I was met with shame. I was told, do you know how evil this is? Do you know how wicked this is? Do you know how this makes women feel? And actually I did know that. That was why I wanted to get it out of my life. That's why I was willing to sit there as an adult and say, help me. I nearly lost my wife and my children because of this addiction, my money, my finances. Like literally overnight, we had nothing.
So I'm assuming he got ostracized from whatever group he was, whatever he worked for, because he came clean about his porn addiction. This I gotta imagine there's more to this story. What I'm doing now.
The age I was when I first was exposed to porn against my will is the same age that my children are now.
Against my will. Like just the boys hanging out and be like, oh, did you see this? And then you sit there and you look at it. Kind of a slightly dishonest framing, in my opinion. Not to say that those things don't spiral out. You can have problems. I get it. But they did this to me against my will.
Between the age of 5 and 3. And when I look at them and imagine, especially my daughters, that the women that I have viewed on porn were that age once, that they are somebody's daughter. And I don't want my little girl to grow up thinking that she has to use her body to make a man like her or draw that attention. Out of all of the drugs, and I say drugs because I believe porn is a drug, I would rather say to my mum, Mum, I've just been taking crack cocaine, than I would say to my mum or my sisters, I've just been watching porn. Shame element is massive. If we get the shame off.
Like, what the fuck? You would rather say that you're addicted to crack cocaine than that you watch too much porn? Hard disagree there, fella. Hard disagree. Although, you know, crack cocaine is an illegal, it's an illicit substance. Harder to get, maybe less opportunity to do it. Porn, freely available to anybody, especially nowadays, right? Freely available. It is a literally... type sex into Google and it'll happen. You are a word away from cooming.
And talk about it. If we bring this into the open, I think there's a lot more chance that people that do want to get free will get free of it. If there was a button that I could press, that would mean that all porn would be eradicated from the world, internet gone, you know, all the porn gone. I would fight 1,000 men and more to get to it. I would do anything and everything I could to get to that button and press it. Because I think that it is so important that porn is gone from our lives.
Well, the porn star feminist, what I wish I'd known about porn. Sure, we'll give that a go while I look up other things.
What I wish I'd known about porn from the very beginning is
that is exploitative.
how empowering and wonderful it can feel personally.
When was this video? When did this video come out? 2018, okay. Because there was a time where there was a narrative being built that like, oh, it is empowering. It frees women from their sexual bondage of being like procreators. And that's it. That's the only reason dudes look at women. That's their only utility. Like, no. Like, if you were engaging in porn, making pornography, you are in the business of objectification. Like, nobody's looking at you like a powerful person. Sure. Maybe if you're into fetish stuff, maybe because that would be the point of it, I suppose, right? If you're into like dominatrixes and whatnot. But like, just normie porn? No, not at all. You fucking, you drop it like it's hot. You fucking go about your day. And that's all that person ever will be to you. For the vast majority of people. Definitely people that feel otherwise. I think they're called pay pigs. Something sites like OnlyFans have kind of capitalized on, right?
What I wish I'd known... I fantasized about having a career in porn, but I never really thought realistically that would happen. I always felt a huge fascination for porn, but I was raised as a...
I can tell you right now. Oh my God, why little girl? You are a niche thing. And you have found yourself in this niche, and you are building upon that. I think I saw some hairy armpits. So she's a feminist porn star. So she's going to do things to try to change the paradigm of what the conceptualization of what porn is between the audience and the creator, right?
I was raised as a second wave feminist, so I thought every kind of sex work, like pornography also, was a tool of the patriarchy to exploit women, and I thought that it was wrong. I did talk a lot with my mother about sex, for example, and she was always very open.
A tool of the patriarchy to exploit women, it is, and no matter how many women are involved in it, you could have a porn production that is women, top to bottom, producers, directors, writers, stars, right? You could have that. And technically, if you are trying to feed off of the predilections of men, you are playing into that. You are not sending a mess. Nope, I'm sorry. But like 99.9% of people watching pornography are not there to hear a statement about anything. Maybe that's changing. I don't know. This is from 2018. The world is changing. Back in the day, we used to just watch sports because we like to watch sports. And now everything is just couched in a ideological message about something. I don't think porn's there yet, though. However hard they may try.
Open about it because she actually did give me the right values. She told me I should do whatever I want. Only she wouldn't think that what I wanted to do is porn. Every now and then I would try to put a feet in the industry, but everything that I would find didn't really feel safe. So I once went to a webcam studio, and I once tried to apply for like a sex telephone job. But the people working there that I encountered did not give me the feeling that I would be in control of everything that was happening. So I didn't feel safe enough to do it.
No.
I think that is a contradiction, right? Like when we're talking about feminism or we're talking about the empowerment of women, sexuality plays such a big role in it because sexuality is such an important thing in everyone's lives, and that's what all kinds of systems have been suppressing. Like, of course, religion, they're trying to control people by controlling their fears and their sexuality.
Well, I mean, that's kind of an unfair characterization. They just know that there are innate things. I say this as a secular person, but I was raised Catholic, so at least I have some sort of insider knowledge of this. It's about controlling a primal sense of self. And it's something that we have made social constructs, etc., to try to circumvent constantly. That's why we have laws. That's why we have police. That's why we have a lot of systems. It's because man, innately, is primal. That's a big part of our impulses, right? They're things that we can only hope to try to control. And that's kind of what religion is for a lot of people. And that's fine. I'm sorry, but like if porn didn't exist tomorrow, the world might be slightly better off. Slightly. Because of the small sliver of a percentage of people that do have problems with it. Maybe they would not be as emboldened to be insular. Especially nowadays, right? With the incel kind of boom that's going on. That's a real thing. Keeps people trapped. Because if they can get that satisfaction without any life experience, without doing anything, then why bother? Why bother trying to meet someone or be social or get out there?
When I finally found people that define themselves as feminists, as queer, sex positive, that was the turning point for me. I started doing porn, again, in a very low-key level. Once I started becoming more public and I knew the content that I was producing, was more accessible than what I did before, I decided to come out. And I came out first to my father, who was really supportive and really understood. With my mom, it was a little bit more difficult because she was...
Yeah, her father's... he's probably a professor or something like that. Oh, yeah, of course he understands. He understands the nuances of this. Of what you're trying to achieve with your coochie.
I was worried of course, like for good reasons. The fact that I had to confront my mother with this and learn to talk to her in a respectful way, I think that is something that has nurtured both of us so much. When you have a great shoot and you just have an amazing location, you have a great group of people, you go somewhere, you have amazing sex, then you get food, then you're being paid really well, and you're like, this is so gorgeous. Like, why would I not want to do this? You know what I mean? Like, this is a fucking dream. It was absolutely my calling to go into porn.
Yeah, just like I'm sure all the sex trafficked girls feel that way. Thank you for creating the environment where that exists, because you get to hang out on yachts in your feminist porn and eat delicious food and bang dudes with 4-inch dicks.
I think that performing in porn is a brave act, because there is a lot of stigma in society still. And once you start performing in porn, you have to be aware of like, where is it gonna end up? Who do you tell? Are you open to everyone? Are you not open? And it's something that is always there forever. Like once you've done it, it's there. And I think you really have to be conscious about it and understand that other people are gonna have a problem with it and have a problem with you. I think it is very problematic to always differentiate between feminist porn and mainstream porn, because that reinforces the idea that mainstream porn is somehow bad.
What's the difference? The amount of like, I don't know, hygienic things you do? Although hygienic is probably not the right word. How much grooming you do? Is that the difference between mainstream porn and feminist porn? Is there more pegging in feminist porn maybe? Who can say?
And that just reproduces a stigma that there is against sex workers, against porn performers, and against sex in general. I don't want to live in a world where shooting porn has a negative impact. So if that's the way we're living, I'm going to do porn and I'm going to try to change that world. What I wish I'd known about porn from the very beginning is how empowering and wonderful it can feel personally.
Yeah, you're just out there fucking changing the world, lady. Good for you. Good for you, porn princess. I think you're, I think you got it all together. Let's see here. About Coomers. There's some streamer talking about Coomers. I don't know what this is. This is one of these Twitch thoughts. Talking about the life of the Coomer. We'll see. Any delicious insights? Who can say?
See the new blog post? Yeah, we'll talk about it. Very cool. Very cool. We're proud of you, Twitch. Good job. We are? Yeah, it's something. What do you mean? It'll keep those viewers in that section. Your headset will get all wet. My hair? No, it doesn't like spread wetness. It just like is damp, you know? I thought the post was a joke, not gonna lie. I think it is better than nothing. And there we go. They did something.
These people have thousands of followers. This person has thousands of followers. Now, I would never suggest that I deserve thousands of followers or I put on some sort of great production, but at least I don't have dead eyes.
You can be pleasantly surprised if I expect nothing. True. I expected nothing from Twitch. I think it's a great step. I think it's really, really, really a great step. And whatever. I don't think it's a problem to have sexually suggestive stuff on the platform as long as there's a section for it. If anything,
I'm sorry, guys. I wasted your time with that. We're not going down that road. That's I don't even know what that is. That's ridiculous. I've let everybody down. Let's see here. My sex addiction almost killed me. And then after that, we're going to get into the big doc. 40-minute doc.
Sex addiction. And for me, that came in the form of unprotected sex with people I did not know. You know, I wouldn't be able to pick them out of a...
Now, this lady, there are other documentaries this lady's been a part of. Most of them are like I needed to have sex up to 6 or 7 times a day. That's the kind of hornball this lady was.
Line up now.
Oh, she's from Austin. Joe Rogan, look her up.
I knew something was wrong with me for years, but I didn't know what it was. I really felt alone and lost, and I became hopeless.
There's a movie called Red, White, and Blue, and that lady looks like the main actress. It is not the same person, but it's a crazy fucking movie it's about sex and to a certain degree. And yeah, she looks like her. So there you go.
Addiction is a genetic brain disease. It's hereditary, passed down through generations.
So, Mama was a sex addict.
Is born an addict.
Is what you're saying.
It's just whether or not that is going to be triggered into active acting out.
For years, Jay struggled with an addiction with no clear understanding of what had caused it.
Sex addiction is really confusing for a lot of people.
She's like, I just love fucking dicks.
Even those of us in it. It has nothing to do with sex. Now that I look back, I can see how gradual it was. In the beginning, that was more like fantasy and masturbation. Mind you, I was like 5. I was imagining like all of my favorite cartoon characters having sex with one another. I didn't understand why at the time. Over the years, pornography played a huge part in my addiction. Infidelity was a big part.
I wonder where she got, like, so she's tracking it all the way back to 5 years old. Her favorite cartoon character is fucking. Like, where does the knowledge, the sexual knowledge come from? Because it's not something you're just innately born with. You just understand it or whatever. Like, generally, people learn, especially, you know, from people my age, people younger than me, you learn it from media. You learn it from television, from movies, from pornography. So I guess she's saying that she must have seen pornography at a very young age. Very fucking young. How the fuck did that happen?
I didn't understand boundaries. I had no intimate or emotional connection with sex at all. Later in my addiction, it had to be more dangerous, more risky, more painful. For me, sex almost never felt good. I was using my behavior to not even feel better, but to just be numb from the pain that I was feeling. When I first...
So getting fucked in the butt to deal with this internal pain. I assume that's a sense of listlessness, vulnerability, apathy, depression.
Started having, I guess they're kind of like flashbacks. They were really vague. I knew my dad had gone through abuse. He had told us about abuse in his childhood, physical abuse, emotional abuse. My parents had been divorced my whole life, and I wasn't really in my dad's care until about 4. And then we started going on like vacation to stay at his house. So at first, he would have me watch pornography with him.
Yeah, that's definitely going to do it. So that's the answer. Okay. Jesus Christ. You know, people, it's a trope pretty much, you know. The abused become abusers. It's fucking sad. It sucks. It's fucking awful.
And then it transitioned to acting out the scenes. You know, like the people on the TV, like it was a cool thing. And I can remember just staring at the door, hoping that the light would turn on, that one of my sisters would come. But they never.
I didn't know this is where this was gonna go. Jesus Christ. Oh fuck, man. Everything is cycles, man. Everything is a cyclical thing for so many people. So many things. And it's hard not to just be upset, you know? Just to be mad that when she was young, she had to go through that kind of experience. I mean, you can't even put that into words. That kind of trauma, that kind of evil. And it's even more insidious that somebody would use the concept like, oh, they would tell their kids, yeah, I was abused, I was all this stuff, almost as a way to open them up to it, right? To create a sense of vulnerability in their lives. It's fucking awful.
And I don't remember him telling me, but I knew I wasn't allowed to cry either. And so I just had to be there and take it, and I never told anybody. And I would just wake up the next morning and pretend like nothing happened. And it's weird because you think that then I would hate my dad. But kids don't. That's my protector. That's somebody I trusted. And I still loved him. All of that stuff I repressed. The worst part is that when it stopped with no explanation. And so all of a sudden, I was not worthy anymore. I wasn't special anymore.
And that's like, that's like the most, oh my God, the most depressing part of it. The layers of this kind of trauma, you know? Insidious.
I'm glad, obviously, that it stopped. But I would spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy again. And I was taught at 5 that my worth came from what someone could take from my body. And I continued thinking that and believing it. I wasn't in healthy relationships. I didn't think I was worth anything. And so I felt I had to make it really, really easy for them in order to have them be with me. So when I was at a point of suicide, it wasn't that I was in all these crazy behaviors, it was that I was completely isolated.
Honestly, it really makes you think of every, like, floozy you've met at a bar. A lot of them look like this girl. They, like, literally look like her. Just that, like, that pouring out, that need for validation constantly. Plenty of girls in my life that I've known exhibited this kind of behavior. Plenty of guys too, I suppose. I was not in the position to sleep with them, but definitely a lot of stuff that people don't know. A lot of this kind of stuff happens all the time. It's really sad.
Isolated and shut off entirely. It was really, really dark.
It was during her darkest moment that Jace finally sought help and went to a group meeting for addicts. It was at this point that she started working towards putting her addiction behind her.
I mean, so this is called My Sex Addiction Almost Killed Me. I wouldn't frame this as a sex addiction case. This is like an abuse case. This person has been traumatized. It's not really a sex addiction. Much deeper than that. Much deeper than that. It's almost cheapens it to say that.
So I decided that I was going to stop having sex and start learning about it. And I figured I probably shouldn't put myself back in that situation until I could do it in a healthy way. So I started my project Suddenly Celibate and spent the next couple of years going around the US and talking to different experts in the field of addiction and specialists in sex addiction, learning a lot about healthy sexuality and everything in between.
I am Jace. I am a sex addict. I am imperfect. And I'm proud.
And so I initially had a vow of being celibate. It wasn't until after a year of being sober that I started dating William. And it was a few months into our relationship where I decided to end my celibacy.
Regardless of what she'd experienced in the past, I only knew her up to the point that I met her. I met with somebody that I truly cared for. Everybody has issues in their life, and just like everybody, I stumble and I pick myself up, brush myself off, and keep on trying. As long as both of us are willing to strive for betterment in ourselves, then the relationship works itself out naturally.
We have an extraordinary relationship as well.
And having fun is pretty good too.
Addiction is a helpless, hopeless, sad and dark world, and that's true. It's really a place of powerlessness where your life is chaos all of the time. It's terrible, but there's a flip side. You're not doomed to this like dismal, scary, chaotic life forever. In going into recovery, I'm going from feeling completely hopeless and alone in the dark. Now I live with enthusiasm. I've come to learn I'm not a terrible person. I'm actually a really good person with a whole lot of stuff I needed to work through. I've recognized that my real passion lies in helping other people get through any type of adversity. Now I work as a self-development coach and help really amazing people who are ready to say, yes, these things have happened. Yes, I made bad choices, or choices were made for me or put on me. I don't want that life. That's not who I am. I want more. I want better. I can be more. And I'm like, heck yeah, you can, and I will help you get there.
Sure, good for her, I guess. Just a sad set of circumstances, you know? You know. So we're gonna watch this this documentary called "I Can't Stop Masturbating." It's about masturbation addiction. Sure, there's somebody out there that could use this.
I wank in bed, I wank in the bathroom, I've wanked in the movies. I had a wank the other day in Piccadilly Circus toilets.
Russell masturbates up to 25 times a weekend.
That feeling is electric.
25 times a weekend. Does he not like do it during the week? He's like, no, I only do this when I can have maximum relaxation. Can't be bothered with considerations of the office. You know?
But at what cost?
I had a terrible, terrible pain underneath my balls. It's scary.
Paul masturbates up to 12 times a day.
I kind of understand what people that use heroin are going through.
The cravings are now so bad he struggles to control himself.
Got any toilet? What the fuck is it?
Over the next 3 weeks, we'll follow Paul.
This guy is just so pissed. Where's the fucking toilet so I can crank one out? Where is it? Where is it?
Paul and Russell as they take very different routes to break free from their masturbation addiction.
Psychological disorder, impotence, erectile dysfunction.
That is really scary, that.
I'm not quite sure what to do. If this thing doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I can't stop masturbating.
95% of men admit to masturbating, but some men masturbate more than others.
Who are the 5% that don't? Who are the 5% that are like, no, not for me, not for me.
Much more.
I think a lot of people think that this can't really be a problem, compulsive masturbating, because everybody wanks. And I think it's important to draw a parallel between this and the fact that everybody drinks. And yet, for some people, drink becomes a poison.
Russell is a heterosexual quantity surveyor who lives in London. He's been addicted to masturbation for over 30 years.
The extreme, I've got in on a Friday night and not gone out my door to go to work Monday. So that's 25 times easily that whole weekend till I've gone to work on the Monday.
So he just like locks it up. He's just like, nope. I got Friday night to Monday morning. That's a lot. 25 times. So 2 2.5 days, maybe. If you want to, like, say Friday night's part of it. I mean, it's the average of, like, what, like 8.5 times a day? 9, 10 times a day? Average? It's a lot of cranking.
Monday. And I had days like that where I just think, well, I'm horny, and I get it into that sort of spiral mindset where...
Like, I think if I can do, like, 3 times in a day, like, whew, that was a big day. That was a big day. As a 34-year-old man, you're just like, oh, that's a lot. It's a lot of my seed. That's a lot of my essence to be just, like, thrown out there, given away. These guys. Jesus Christ.
I just keep searching for stuff on the internet to turn me on. But if you look down here, look at the carnage going on down here. All this here, look. From that sort of area where I just spunk all over the carpet. The big shots come right out here. But the bulk of it is here. You can see this area here? I don't think people realise, because I don't think people could actually possibly imagine that all that is spunk.
Russell's only other release is sport. He's been rowing with best friend Dave for 5 years, but even...
What I want to know, though, like, he talked about, like, needing to find things to jerk off to. Like, there's got to be an escalation. Like, what kind of weird shit is he watching at this point in his life? At this point, what is he watching? It's got to get real dark. It must, right?
There, Russell just can't resist.
I think after physical exercise, I feel horny because I feel good about myself. I get the tingles and the throb in my cock. And invariably I do wank after exercise. I've had a wank in the loos here. I've had people knock on the door, need to get in, I need to let them in, and then I'll have to go in a bit later, give it 5 minutes and finish off. But that's...
Somebody knocking on the door. Yo, I gotta take a dump. All right. Let it air out for a minute. The seat's still warm, though. Maybe that's part of his thing.
Tricky, isn't it, when you've got only one toilet?
It's each to his own, you know. I mean, if he was doing it in the bar, we might have a word, but it's just Russell.
His friends may see it as a harmless quirk, but it's a coping mechanism Russell's relied on since he first discovered masturbation as an 8-year-old.
Emotionally, it settles me down. It calms me down. I do feel desperate at times, very anxious. It just feels like I've been loved.
Recently, though, his addiction has started to take its toll.
I had a terrible, terrible pain which came on so hard. It wasn't gradual, it hit me like cramp, kind of underneath my balls. I feel that what I've done, I've bruised internally my prostate because my prostate's having to work so hard to produce semen for my ejaculations. It's scary.
Russell's already had...
That is pretty crazy. If you jerk off so much that, like, your prostate's like, no more, and just is bruised, it's a lot.
...to go at many treatments in the UK,
a lot of cum,
including psychotherapy, to kick his addiction.
Anti-masturbation gloves. Yeah, they're the boxing gloves. Do you know what? That wouldn't stop me.
Now he wants to try some of the world's most extreme treatments by going to America.
I just feel now that I've reached a stage where I can do this journey because I feel I'm receptive now to it. It is the right time for me now. And I think going to America, to the US, and getting involved with some of these people, it will just open up different alleyways for me. Yeah, hopefully coming back more of a sorted bloke in my head than I am now.
Paul is gay and lives alone in Leeds. He first masturbated at the age of 14 and hasn't stopped since.
I can squeeze 7 in at least, 7 wanks a day. But like with my toys, it can be more than that. It can be, well, sometimes 12 times, sometimes for half an hour at a time. I've lost 8 jobs because of my addiction. Some of them were quite good jobs, but I had to leave before they got too suspicious. Relationships and things, they don't work because I do want one more than anything, but I've kind of got used to it now, but even though I still want one, I've just kind of accepting the fact that I'm not going to get one whilst I've got this problem, so there's not much I can do about it.
So this guy jerks off so much he can't work? Man, you might have something else wrong with you.
I love Viagra, what does it say?
Stops me
On our first day filming with Paul, we followed him shopping with his closest friend Sharon, the only person in his life aware of the full extent of his addiction.
So did you actually have a wank in my mum's house, did it?
Twice.
Where did you? In the bathroom? Oh God, my mum will be having a fit.
It's now 3 hours since Paul last masturbated, and we notice his mood start to change.
I'm very concerned because I think that a lot of people think that he's got an attitude problem. Are you feeling okay? You sure?
Well, no.
Yeah, do you actually?
Well, you know, I gotta go crank one out. Sorry.
And people will obviously misconstrue that as him being sort of aggressive and arrogant.
I just need to go and sort myself out in a loo. Pretty soon.
At certain moments he has a tendency to be quite snappy. That's usually when he's in sort of in need of a wank. I get concerned when you're like this, actually. Are you okay?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
Do you want to go?
No, I need a drink first, don't I? Got any toilets?
I'll just wait here. I don't know how to really deal with like that situation because he just snaps at people and stuff because obviously he's really, really wound up and frustrated and he wants to sod off, and me asking him questions like, are you okay? Which doesn't help. But I don't know how to deal with him sometimes.
So now he has to just go to a bathroom to jerk off. She knows, she's just like, I don't help. I'm just a nag.
It's like that.
Feel better now, lots better. Sometimes it can be worse than that. I can just scream at people in the street like if they're in the way, or just, I can get so mad.
You might have something else wrong with you. This might go deeper than a masturbation addiction.
But that was fine then. Obviously I was stroppy, but that's nothing. I just to the point, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? What's going on? And I just look at everybody else and wonder if they're doing the same thing. I wonder if they're going to the toilet for the same thing. But obviously not, so.
He just assumes. I guess that's what we all do, right? We project our own sense of self, why our own motivations and neuroses. We project them on other people. We're just like, no, you must be doing the same thing that I'm doing. Of course, why wouldn't you be?
It's quite stressful just to, but no, like you know, like the only one that does it, and
Unable to hold down a relationship or work because of his addiction, and with his cravings now causing desperate mood swings, Paul has decided to get treatment. He wants to take a more conventional route than Russell to get help, so he's agreed to go to London for an intensive course of therapy.
desperate. I think desperate's a good word. Just hoping it's not a complete waste of time at the end of it. Because if it is, then I don't know what else I'm going to do. Where else can I go?
But kicking his addiction will be a lot harder than he thinks.
No pun intended. No pun intended, everybody.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I can't find this fucking room. What?
Russell masturbates up to 15 times a day. But recently, sharp pains in his prostate have caused him to double over in pain. Psychotherapy didn't work for him, so he's flown to California to try some of the most extreme treatments America has to offer.
Is that castration? Fuck.
I really like LA women. LA women are very, very attractive, the ones I've seen. If I lived in Los Angeles, my goodness, I'd crikey, I wank a lot now. I would definitely do myself some serious physical damage, because they're gorgeous.
Russell has never been able to...
This guy can't see a chick without fucking being like, let me catalog that into the old spank bank.
...abstain from wanking for longer than a day. He was adopted as a 9-month-old baby and has long thought that some kind of separation anxiety may be driving his addiction.
I think it must be something to do with wanting affection. there's definitely a pattern with adopted children. Now as an adult, and even though I can reason that out, I still get these, obviously get these anxieties. I still get these kind of panic, desperate times, mainly when I'm on my own.
Russell's addiction may be deep-rooted, so he's come to LA to visit a doctor of Chinese medicine.
Well, the reason that I'm going to have this body scan is that it can show up thermally where I'm losing essential nutrients from my body. The sort of physical damage I'm doing to my body whilst excessively masturbating.
So I guess he thinks if he knows, like, the internal damage that's being done, it'll deter him from cranking it. I have a feeling that that's going to be a no, right? Like, because people that drink too much alcohol or smoke too much, like myself, like, we know that it's bad for us. We can actually feel the physical ramifications of it. Doesn't mean that you're going to stop, though. Doesn't mean you're going to stop. Like, you seems like you got to address something deeper or just be disciplined. Just develop a sense of discipline. I don't know.
I'm shitting myself. Why? Because my body's so important to me. So yeah, I'm shitting myself.
Dr. Liu has been treating patients using thermal imaging and herbal medicines for over 10 years.
This one for the menopause. Menopause. This one for the sleep problem. Any sleep problem, use this that's good, very good.
But this is the first time he's ever treated someone with such an extreme masturbation addiction.
What is your problem with how long your problem?
I masturbate daily between sort of 5 and 8 times a day, but on the weekends, if I'm not going out or seeing anybody, it can be between 10 and 15 in a day, and occasionally I get a terrible pain, sort of in my groin area underneath my balls, where it's like a gripping pain, and it comes so suddenly, and I'm literally doubled up on the floor.
Let's go to the other room, and then for the thermal scan.
All right. Okay, thank you.
She's all business. She's just like, let's go. You've said enough, sir. Let's go check you out.
Take out everything and put here?
Yeah.
Okay, stand over there.
For the first time in his life, Russell undergoes a physical examination to uncover the damaging effects of his addiction. The damage, according to Dr. Liu's thermal scan, is far worse than Russell expected.
If Russell didn't quit the addiction or the habit, and then he will have the toothache, loose tooth, back pains, weak knees, exhaustion, depression, psychological disorder, impotence, erectile dysfunction.
Masturbation is causing a whole body the problem.
Have I gone too far with my masturbation habit to repair it? Can I repair it? Can I repair the damage?
If you take the herbal medicine for the 6 months to for 6 months,
Yes.
and 3 months to 6 months,
yes.
I think all problem can fix.
Oh, lovely! Oh, brilliant! That's a relief. That's a relief.
I just happen to sell it in front of my store. So just pick up 6 months supply on your way out, and you'll be good.
Do it. I'll do it.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So shall we go to the room?
Yeah, love to. Yeah, thank you.
While Dr. Liu mixes a herbal cocktail to help wean Russell from his addiction, Russell is left to absorb the hard-hitting results of the scan.
Crikey, it's quite devastating, isn't it, what I've done to myself? The upside is that Dr. Liu thinks that he can sort me out with herbal medicine. That's a bit of a relief, but that is definitely enough to...
It's like a placebo, because it's like you're going to take this, it's going to incentivize you to stop doing the behavior, stop masturbating so much, and it'll probably just be fine on its own. I don't know how much stock I put into herbal medicines for things like that. You know, the body's a powerful thing. Like, you just redirect it. I don't know. Not addicted to masturbating, so what the fuck do I know?
To make me reduce my habit, because that is really scary, that.
Hey, that's the herbal medicine.
Thank you.
For
He brought his buddies. He's just like, check this dude out. This dude jerks off 15 times a day.
masturbation. That's the special formula.
The total is $300.
Okay. It's 300. Thank you very much.
It's actually not that bad. I thought it'd be more than that. $300. 6 months supply of juju. Come on now.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
And you.
And don't masturbate to me, you pervert.
$300 and a box of pills later, Russell hopes the herbs will have the desired effect.
Even if this isn't, you know, medically.
It says it on the bottle. Compulsive masturbation.
Magic cure. If it gets my mindset correctly and balances my thought process.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's worked, hasn't it? I'm going to try and finish the day off without having a wank. I think I can turn it off now. After what I've had experience today, I really think I can.
That night, we left Russell with just a camera for company.
He masturbated 18 times in the beautiful, sunny Los Angeles, California.
We were unsure how he would cope.
This is bad times for me. Too much time to think. I go into a real sort of a real downer on myself. Yeah, this is when it gets really hard. So that's why I do it. It's the only way I can get out this this sort of mood. And so I wank, and that alleviates a lot of the pain, but only temporarily. But we'll have to see. See how I go on.
Go on, you kings of New England.
Yeah, I feel a lot better. Oh, that's good. Just come. Yeah, I feel a lot better. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Getting rid of his addiction isn't going to be easy. Back in England, Paul masturbates with his sex toys up to 12 times a day.
God
his
damn.
addiction prevents him from holding down a job or having a relationship. And
Excuse me, manager, do you mind if I go plunge my asshole with this giant plastic cock? That'd be too much? That'd be too much to ask for?
it's now beginning to cause desperate mood swings. Paul is taking a different route than Russell to treat his addiction. He's agreed to travel to London for a course of psychotherapy. But even simple things like getting from A to B.
Yeah, but they said the other guy had tried that and it had failed. So he's not taking a different course, per se. Just saying, let's be fair to Russell. Let's not besmirch him.
B are a complete nightmare for him. It's now 4 hours since he last masturbated, and his frustration is starting to boil over.
Oh my.
I can't find this fucking room. Get out of the way. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh. What the fuck is it?
Where is my masturbatorium?
What? Oh my god, am I ill? It's not fucking working. Oh, you cunt. Fucking hallelujah.
This is how I am when I need to take a piss. Like when I check into a hotel and I have to take a piss, this is how I act.
Paul will have a week-long intensive therapy course with sex addiction specialist Christoph Edwards. For the first time, He'll have to reveal intimate details about his life to help overcome his addiction.
The compulsion to masturbate for a compulsive masturbator is as powerful as the desire to use heroin for a heroin addict, and, you know, can have parallel consequences on the sufferer's life. I think it's very hard actually to see it in black and white terms of what he's got to deny himself, what he's got to give up. If he wants to get better, if he really wants to get better, this is what he's going to have to do.
I hope I don't get too upset about anything, because I don't want to. I just want it all to go smoothly. I don't think it's gonna.
Hi, you must be Paul. I'm Christoph. Hi, welcome. Come on in.
Thank you.
You made it.
To my boudoir.
Well, what do your toys consist of?
What do they
consist of? What sort of toys have you got?
Just mainly like just dildos and vibrators and things. So that's all I have. I don't have anything dodgy. I'm just the normal.
So I mean, if you look,
don't have anything dodgy. There's always this kind of apprehension, like, oh no, I'm not one of those people. Okay. They got normal sex toys.
Back at the sort of first, I don't know, 7 years of childhood, how would you sum it up?
They were pretty good. The first 7 years were pretty good. It was just the years after that, really, that kind of went downhill. And then the bullying started from there. It just went on and for, well, ever since I was at school.
And what forms did it take, the bullying?
Oh, they were saying everything a child could say, you know, you bent bastard, you shit stabber, you faggot fucker, and all this, everything that you could possibly think of that did say. And then eventually it turned to just like fist fighting, you know, they'd be beating me up after school and things. And then that's when it eventually, about a group of 12 just put me in hospital.
I mean, I suppose one thing I'm struggling with is that this wasn't noticed at home.
They didn't know what to do. They were lost, just like I was.
So I mean, just going back a bit. So when did you discover masturbating as a comfort?
Well, at first, it started making me feel really happy and normal for a while. So I'd go home and I'd have another wank or something, and I'd feel better again then. But when I realised it was a major comfort thing was when it got to the point where I was taking my toys to work every single day. I feel quite scared in a way.
Taking your toys to work? Like, you can just crank one out. You don't need toys. Jesus Christ, guy. I guess that's why it's an addiction. That's why it's a serious problem.
I haven't got them with me just in case. There's nothing I can just go back.
But still, bringing your toys to work? You keep it in your backpack or something? You can't just masturbate? Russell would just get it done. You wouldn't be fucking around with toys.
Back on to, so to speak.
In your life, you know, it's your primary relationship. It's the most important relationship that you have.
It's the only one I have.
Would you say that?
At the moment, yeah, it's the only one that I have, yeah.
You've got to a place where you find that this so-called friend is leaving you, you know, perhaps feeling depressed, perhaps feeling hopeless, feeling isolated. And I think it would be a very good idea if you wrote the addiction, you know, wrote your acting out, a farewell letter. Because you're saying, you know, you're saying goodbye to your best friend. Would you be prepared to have a go at doing that?
I'll have a go, yeah.
I guess that's the psychotherapy aspect, because they're just like, you know, you need to have that separation. You need to write a Dear John letter. I'm sorry, it's been great. A lot of wanks, a lot of laughs, but it's over. It's over, Johnson.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to put. I gotta do it. Let's go to the house here. It's a bit daft writing that to a fucking dildo, doesn't it?
Yes. Write the letter to the dildo.
How'd you get on? Well, I wasn't quite sure what to write, but I tried my best.
Are you prepared to read it out?
Over the past 2 years, you'll be the best friend I could ever have. You've always been there for me whenever I need a shoulder to cry on. You always listen. I know you've been good to me, never judged me, never asked me for anything, and never hurt me, like so many of my other friends have done.
Did he say, like, treat it like it was a person? Like you're speaking to a person? Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess, like, right, because it's like they consider it a relationship that you have with yourself. I don't know.
The time has come that I feel that I no longer require you as a friend. This is very difficult for me, but I'm sure that we will get along perfectly without each other.
I think we can leave it there for today, Paul. That's okay with you.
You check the clock. He's like, yeah, $350. I think we're good today.
In a way, the two of us are unlocking this Pandora's box, and he's looking into it and going, oh my God. The sort of irony is that the one thing that deals with the anxiety is the very thing that I'm suggesting he stop using. I, hope that it's not too hard for the next 2 days. And I would guess, he will probably want to act out quite a lot.
I'm just going to try and hold off as long as I can and just see how long I can hold off. It's not going to be fun or easy, but I don't think it's going to work for very long, but I'm going to try. I don't think it's going to work, though.
That night, Paul decided to take a walk in Soho. But his session with Christoph doesn't seem to be having any positive effects yet.
I thought I was bad before I saw him, and now it's just brought more memories back to me. It just seems to fuck me up even more. It fucks me up in a way to think that this is the only thing that I have, because that's kind of the way that I see it sometimes. Don't have much hope in myself, just don't have much confidence in myself. I just really wish that I was somebody else for a while, just for at least for a day, and just see how they live. I'd just like to be one of the other people that I look at and just think I'd like to be them, just sat at a bar, having a laugh with the friends and just not caring about anything and not having any problems. Just being happy. I just feel like shit. I'm not quite sure what to do. If the thing doesn't work.
A little dramatic here. That's the difference between this Paul and Russell. Russell's like, no, this is tough, but
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
The shock of finding out the physical damage caused by his wank habit has not been enough to scare Russell into cutting back drastically. He is still masturbating up to 10 times a day.
I told you.
At the root of his addiction is an emptiness he feels when he's forced to spend time on his own.
I think, yeah, when I need to feel that hole, that emptiness, that horrible feeling I get. Deep down, I need something to make me feel a bit better about myself, make me feel a bit happy about myself.
Russell has travelled to Memphis after hearing about Reverend Bill Berry, a former sex addict who cured himself by turning to God.
When your drive is towards something like masturbation, your drive is
something like cooming, when your drive is to coom,
is towards pornography and masturbation together, it literally becomes captivating to the mind, and the mind can't concentrate on godly things when it's concentrated on
yeah, your mind is reacting to that release, that dopamine. That's what it's reacting to. And that's why you get distracted, just like you would with anything. Although I suppose, like a lot of people, a lot of drug addicts, right, they found something to refocus, reorientate themselves towards. That has been the thing that can help them. So let's see. I don't, for some reason, I feel like this documentary is going to end in a pretty inconclusive way.
Fleshly things.
Reverend Berry's absolutist approach may seem an unlikely choice, but Russell was brought up a Christian, and it's something he's willing to go with if it means he can get help.
Fight.
I'm definitely open to it.
Coom for Christ.
Open to anything really which can help me. This will be the first time in my life that I could speak to somebody who won't be shocked, who won't disbelieve me. He will totally understand, and that's going to be really refreshing.
I know how you feel. I really do know how you feel. I've sort of been where you are, and I began to seek out more pornography, more behaviors, more masturbation. And I now believe it was God calling me or pulling me. But I began to recognize I can't keep doing this. I've got to break this cycle. So would you like to just pray with me and make this happen? Make this begin? Okay, just bow your head and follow me. Heavenly Father, I know I've sinned in my life, and I know that I need what you have to offer. You died on the cross, and you rose again from the dead, and you did it for me, and I want that salvation.
It's always just that basic. It always comes back to this place, the singular point. They don't ever say anything more insightful than that. Which I guess is fine, right? If you're trying to convince somebody to redirect their attention, you want a singular thing. So I suppose I can understand that to a certain degree.
I felt a bit of an impact inside, actually, you speaking those words.
One of the ways for a Christian to put a stake in the ground, I'm making a commitment, is baptism. And I can arrange for that to happen, even today. We can have a baptism.
I'll give that a shot.
Begin it right now.
Just 3 hours after meeting him, Reverend Berry starts to cure Russell's masturbation addiction by baptizing him in his local swimming pool.
Well, what Bill said to me today, it went in and hit something inside. And I felt it. He moved me, what he spoke to me about today.
Well, Russell, upon your profession, then, of your faith that you placed in Jesus Christ this morning,
yes,
Bill and I have the joyous privilege of baptizing
Just
you
today.
this afternoon in the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Now come on, take this done. Hell yeah, brother.
You are a brother in Christ. Again, let me give you a hug.
Bless you. Thank you.
You have been dunked, sir. You are now saved. Stop with the tomfoolery.
It was a really bizarre feeling, being held like that and being pushed backwards. Pushed backwards.
I guess this would feed into his pathological behavior, the way he's described it as the search for comfort, connection, to not feel alone, not feel abandoned. So maybe the pathway for him is a community of sorts.
To me, represented the past, and then just coming back out again was a new start. That's what it kind of felt to me. But obviously what's still a concern to me is when I'm really, really horny and I'm desperate, my mind shuts down. I mean, it's early days at the moment. It's just so early days at the moment for me to know if I'm going to be able to cope with that just by loving God.
You're a soldier of Christ now, dude. Now every time you masturbate, he kills a kitten. Come on.
I think we've got a bit of progress because I came in, my cock was aching a little bit, and yeah, I felt horny, and I just gave it a couple of rubs, and then I stopped because I thought, well, I've just been to see Bill and said a prayer, and I thought, well, I'm stronger than this, I'm stronger than this, so I refrain from having a wank, which is progress.
In London, Paul is following the conventional therapy route. He's halfway through a week-long intensive course to overcome a 12 times a day masturbation addiction, which still shows no signs of abating. Today is Paul's second session with therapist Christoph Edwards.
We don't have to talk about too many things that I don't want to talk about. Because I don't know what he's going to ask me. I know I'm going to have to answer them.
Then what's the point, dude?
I'm scared of what he's going to ask me, that's all. What's going to make me do. I can't really be bothered today, actually. I just feel really crap.
I'd like you to draw an island. I've done the outline of it, and I'd like you to create a sanctuary island for you. You know, somewhere that's safe. So would you be prepared to do that?
I will give it a go.
Is this what he was worried about? This was who he was concerned about? It might be too much for me, I don't know.
What I hope him to get out of it is to work out what is safe for him in terms of how he relates to the rest of the world. I'm hoping that this is going to give me, you know, a lot more insight to who he is and how he protects himself.
I've finished.
Excellent. This is a fence. What sort of fence?
A big fence.
How do you get on or off your island?
You don't.
You don't? No. Okay, let's go back in. So I mean, what you've drawn is you know, is very much your life, which is that it's a fortress to keep people out, but you know, it's a very double-edged sword. That is also a prison, which keeps you in and keeps you from connecting with life, with people. I mean, it suggests to me, Paul, that you know, you have a real trust issue around people.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I can just open up to that.
Like, is this is the height of the field? This kid could just came and talked to me.
I feel quite scared around them in a way. I just find it very difficult to trust people.
This process for you is going to be about having the faith and just trusting that if you stop the acting out, that then real relationships will start coming into your life. The Notting Hill Carnival's on. What would you feel about going to that? If I gave you a challenge that you should engage with two people. Just talk to someone. It can be as brief as you like, but just to connect with two different people while you're there.
I'm not sure if I could.
Paul was, I think, quite angry about what I'm trying to do with him. What I'm trying to get him to do is to challenge this sort of feeling of worthlessness that he has.
What is there to be fucking angry about?
People think he's talking bollocks, that people think he's bollocks, that people think he's rubbish, that he has no value. And it's only when he starts reaching out and taking risks and connecting with people that's going to be seen to be a lie that he tells himself.
I'm a little bit stressed out. I need a wank.
Within minutes of leaving Christoph, Paul rushes back to the hotel to be with his sex toys.
It just feels like I'm going home to the enemy now as well. I still want to get there and I still want to use them, but it just feels like I shouldn't be, really, you know.
It feels like you're in a really extra intense place if you need to use sex toys just to masturbate.
It just feels like it just feels wrong for me to be wanting something like this now.
Why don't you try not to use them?
I've tried, you know.
But why don't you try now?
Because I know that I'll go mental if I don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We arranged to meet Paul an hour later. expecting him to have acted out with his sex toys.
When I got back, I was, I really wanted to go in there, so just to sort myself out and just make myself feel a bit better and whatnot. I sat down for 5 minutes, and I thought, well, can I do it? Can I not do it? See how long I could go without doing it for, and I thought, well, fuck it. And when I calmed down a little bit...
I like the post-production people. They're like, yeah, let's just some Kleenex and toilet paper. Let's really make this a visceral experience for everybody. You really got to know.
I was saying, I beat you and all this stuff, and saying, who's better now and stuff, and just things like that. Just, it kind of felt stupid, but it kind of worked in a way as well. Made me feel better, actually.
Dominating.
Back in Memphis, Reverend Berry has been in touch with Russell. He's invited him to attend a Christian sex addicts meeting at his apartment.
The group of people who I'm going to be introduced to tonight, they've got all kinds of problems as a result of pornography addiction. Some of these guys are married with children, some are single, some are gay. He's asked me to keep you guys out of it because, as you appreciate, some of these guys are married with children, so he's asked me to respect, the sensitivity of it and keep you guys away.
Heavenly Father, I just thank you for bringing brothers here together. These kinds of habitual sin patterns can just grab a hold of you.
Russell spent the evening listening to Reverend Berry preach his version of Christianity to the meeting.
What you sow, so you will reap, and that's just very biblical.
But when he arrived back at the motel at 10 p.m., his mood had changed radically.
Bill had said that gay men was the devil's work. God would never accept gay men. It was the devil's work. So if you were gay, you were touched by Satan. You were touched by the devil. That's not Christianity to me. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's the way the Bible's written.
The Bible is very clear about the fact that homosexuality is a sinful part of life.
Surely people are just born that way.
Now, to say that one was born that way and it's part of their nature, one would have to say that, okay, then there are other predilections or there are other forms of behaviors that we could be born into. Is pedophilia an acceptable, born-into lifestyle that we should accept in our culture?
Having put his...
No, it's not. But you don't have to, if somebody has a chemical imbalance that leads them to pedophilic actions or desires or whatever, yeah, as a society, we just say, no, that's not good because it's not good for our culture or society. It's not good for human beings to engage in that behavior. When it comes to gay men or gay women, it doesn't really matter all that much. It doesn't. Sure, you can have discussions more about abstract things about the culture surrounding it or kink at pride and all those types of things that people talk about. But the act itself is whatever. That's just between you and whoever.
Faith in Reverend Berry to cure him of his addiction. Russell's time in Memphis now seems to have been one big setback.
I feel I've been conned, I feel disappointed, I feel let down. That's how I feel.
So this guy says one thing you disagree with, and you're just like, well, I guess I got to crank it.
I feel gutted. So yeah, after tonight, getting back here, I just thought, yeah, bollocks to it. I'm going to put a porno film on and have a couple of wanks just to sort of self-cleanse myself again.
Just to get my shit straight. This guy was a phony. What did he think he was going to say? How do you think this... are you that naive to the people you fucking meet? I mean, Christ, dude. No pun intended. But, you have to do this for yourself. You can't just do this because, this guy said I was saved, I thought about God, and it would stop me from doing it. No, dude. He even intellectually understands. He understands. He's just looking for an excuse, a reason to have a couple wanks.
Russell may be struggling, but in London, Paul is making slow progress. His therapist, Christoph Edwards, thinks that Paul needs to trust others if he's to overcome his addiction. So he's set him the task of talking to 2 strangers at the Notting Hill Carnival.
I'm feeling a little bit more positive than I was. Only because I'm just telling myself to do it and telling myself that it'll be a good thing for me to do. I'm still a little bit nervous, but I think I'm going to try and see what I can do.
Paul arrived at the carnival at 2 p.m, full of optimism. But 3 hours later, he still hadn't plucked up the courage to speak to anyone.
And now he's ready to Coom.
Because everyone's walking towards me, and then it's getting darker as well, and I'm getting a bit nervous now.
With time running out, will Paul finally be able to overcome his fear of rejection?
At the end of this, he just becomes a sex addict. Just one thing to the next.
It isn't working, I'm so mad. Okay, fine.
Paul has been set the task of speaking to 2
Nightmare
strangers
music.
at the Notting Hill Carnival to help overcome the low self-worth that is driving him to masturbate 12 times a day.
It's getting darker as well, I'm getting a bit nervous now.
He's now been at the carnival for 4 hours, and time is running out.
You could probably speak and just go and talk to her. Okay, fine, I will give it a go, we'll see how it goes. English? You don't speak English? No.
Do you want to finger my butthole? With your penis.
Just go over. Okay, fine. Hi, dude. Where are you from? Morocco. Oh, okay. You meet some friends from Morocco or from London? You meet some friends from Morocco or London or? It wasn't actually as hard as I thought it was. At least they didn't reject me. So that's good.
After 5 hours and 20 cigarettes, Paul has finally been able to talk to 2 strangers. A simple task that until now has always been beyond him.
A week ago, I would never have said that people out there would want to talk to me. And now I believe that they do want to talk to me, because otherwise he wouldn't have stood there and talked to me. He would have just told me to fuck off.
After the disaster of Memphis, Russell has traveled back to California in a final attempt to get help. Reverend Berry's brand of Christianity may have failed him, but Russell is still desperate to fill the spiritual void he feels inside.
And he loves those herbs.
Deep down, I don't think I've liked myself very much. I'll give you a couple of examples. When I used to play rugby and when I broke my collarbone, I used to carry on playing. When I used to spar and I used to break my ribs, I used to carry on sparring. I
Tough
quite
as
like
fuck.
the pain.
Tough.
As if I was
Not a
kind of wasn't
pussy.
worthy of anything more.
Russell is heading for Mount Pinos after hearing about Alan Salazar, a Native American medicine man with vast experience of treating addiction.
Within the native culture and the Chumash culture, we use animals as teachers. We use animals
A lot of heroin addicts. So we tell them to look at the birds.
as spirit helpers. I want to ask that any energy, any wisdom, any power that they have, that they're sending to me, that they send that to Russell today.
Alan Spirit Hawk Salazar. Welcome to Mount Pinos, the center of the universe for the Chumash people.
So, what do you want to try and...
You got that $500? You got that $500? Okay. Check this place out. Beautiful mountains.
Get out of your vision quest.
I just want to feel a bit better about myself, Alan. I don't want these horrible feelings, these horrible panics I get. I just want to feel better about myself and like myself a bit more, I think.
Alan's methods will make Russell confront his subconscious. He'll use a sweat lodge, a Native American ritual that forces the subject to sit in temperatures of up to 60 degrees.
The sweat lodge is probably one of the most powerful ceremonies that you can do. It's almost like crawling back into the womb of Mother Earth. You can free your mind and visualize and think about whatever it is that you want to think about. Those negatives that are in here, that we take them out. Literally take them out right now. Throw them.
You just go to a gym. You know, go to the steam room.
To all my relatives.
To all my relatives.
Now crawl up in that sweaty room.
Whoever's up there listening, I just need to get some strength. No, I don't want to keep running away. I want to face it emotionally. So let's hope whoever's listening can, make me strong and help me to believe in myself and like myself a bit more, and hopefully, close this void up a bit.
Alan leaves Russell alone in the sweat lodge. With temperatures rising above 50 degrees,
to Coom,
Russell is forced to contemplate his life and his low self-esteem.
However long he stays in there, that's the exact amount of time he needs to stay in there. So when he comes out, then he can face those troubles. You know,
still wearing his watch. He can't be that
those issues,
uncomfortable.
those problems.
Come on.
30 minutes later, Russell emerges from the
30 minutes later. 30 minutes. I feel like Russell didn't get much out of this.
sweat lodge.
How you feel?
Yeah, I really loved it.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it, and you do think very deeply in there, don't you? It's an incredible thought process in there.
Oh, this guy seems like just the fucking the most annoying motherfucker on the planet. Oh my God. Religious hopscotch, spiritual hopscotch. Come on, man. Pick something that's hard, not something that agrees with you. Something to fight towards.
When Russell came to America, he masturbated up to 15 times a day.
Now only
he now
6.
Thinks he's ready to cut back drastically.
I know that I can, within time, be strong enough to cope with the low self-esteem. I know that I can pick myself up. I've learnt to accept Russell as not a bad guy. He's just got to help himself with this serial wanking. I'm going to limit myself to, maximum 2 wanks a day, which I'm determined to do.
Once in the morning, get yourself right. Once at night, to lay down. Lay it bare.
It's the middle of the night in London, and Paul's cravings to act out with his sex toys are still plaguing him.
I find it really difficult to sleep. I don't know if it's because I'm... No, it's not because I'm worried about seeing Christoph, like, tomorrow for the last time or anything. I could really fuck myself right now. But I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have to keep trying to go back to sleep again, just so I don't.
Today is Paul's final session with Christoph, and for once he's feeling positive.
Just looking forward to it in a way. I know it sounds quite bizarre, but I don't mind just...
Yeah, but wouldn't you continually have to see somebody to give yourself the incentive not to continue the behavior? Like, if the thing that stops you from doing it is this kind of larger thing, this pressure of disappointing somebody that you respect.
See what he's got to say.
It's been 4 days since our last session, and I wondered how you've been getting on.
I've just been focusing more on the more positive things as well, like just the good things I've just been looking at rather than taking more note of the bad things.
You're really kind of getting to the core of how to overcome this. I think that's really good. One of the things that I wanted to do this session was to talk to that part of you that needs to act out. I want you to switch from Paul sitting there and come and sit in this chair and be this, very addictive acting out part of yourself.
God.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm going to go sit over here.
Do you think this really works for people? Like this level of like pedantic, childish, simplistic, like, oh, now you need to sit in this chair because you need to feel like you're in control. I don't know.
I'd like you to tell Paul, why do you think he's needed you till now?
Because he's needed someone. Someone to rely on.
This guy's a quack.
I was that person, I think, that thing to rely on.
So he needs you?
He doesn't need me, he just thinks that he does.
Can you switch chairs? So would you be prepared to symbolically say goodbye to him?
I don't like you anymore. You don't do anything for me, you crap. And
So this is over a 12-day period? You expect people to come to this kind of conclusion? It's like Gordon Ramsay coming in and saving a restaurant in 48 hours. Just doesn't seem really, I don't know, practical.
A lot better without you. So hit the road.
You mean that, don't you?
I do mean that,
You
yeah.
mean that, don't you? The fuck you...
The sessions, are the first step in a lifelong battle for him. And the longer that he remains in recovery, the less powerful that addiction will be. But he will need to be vigilant, pretty much on a daily basis for the rest of his life.
I'm just hoping that I don't fall back again. If I do, I'll just have to think about what Christoph said and just think about all the positive things. And there's going to be a lot of low moments, but I'm just going to stick with it. What else can I do, really,
Who can say?
Two months on, Paul has continued to make progress in fighting his addiction. He now masturbates once a day and occasionally uses his sex toys.
Occasionally.
Since the final session, when I got home from seeing Christoph, I threw my toys away. I actually threw about 4 of them away, so I've got 1 left now. The last time that I used the only dildo that I've got left was Tuesday, and it's like Saturday now, which is fucking amazing if you ask me.
Back home in London, Russell too has cut back.
Things have improved massively. I've gone sometimes 2 or 3 days without having a wank. So it's a vast improvement from between 10 and 15 on a Saturday and a Sunday. I've had no crap.
So it's crazy what you can do if you just, like, I don't know, decide to try to fight against it.
At all. I don't feel so bad about myself. The US was very emotional, the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, to open the boxes in my head. I feel happy about me now, and I'm wanking far less. So it does make sense.
Narrated by Mark Strong. Wow, they really got somebody in there. Alright, well that's gonna be the last video. But we'll leave everyone with one more thing. One more little thing. I don't know what this is. We're gonna find out together. Happening now. This is I'm a Coomer.
I used to use my brain before. My prefrontal cortex been thrown out the door. 'Cause every day I need to keep cool, man.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
The first, the second, the third, the fifth, I'm falling apart, no stopping this. I just can't control it. I'm a Coomer. I'm a Coomer. I'm a Coomer. I'm a Coomer. I'm a Coomer.
Good night, everybody. Goodbye.
I used to be a happy boy, filled with dopamine and joy, but now I'm just a crusty, dirty Coomer. I haven't cleaned my room in weeks. All I do is beat my meat. I get nothing done 'cause I'm a Coomer. I'm a Coomer. I'm a Coomer.